I want to review to you 6 B2B lead gen strategies that are actually working right now in 2025 and I expect to work in 2026. So today I will show you what we are doing currently for our own agency and for our clients to generate B2B leads. So let's get to it. So the first lead gen strategy that I want to share with you today is cold email outreach. Now, many of you might think, look, I get all this like cold email outreaches every day. I'm so sick of them. Does anyone actually respond to them? The answer is yes. Now, I have tried many different types of messages. And the mistake most people make is that they start sending out cold emails and they try it once or twice and with a few messages and a few offers, and then they give up. Look, for our agency, we have tested at least 10 or 20 different offers and messages in order to find something that works. And I know it took us a long time, but it eventually worked for us. And now we are generating on average 1 positive response a day on cold email. And that is giving us a lot of leads because this is a fantastic way to reach out to those people that we are actually targeting and want to work with. Now you might ask, where do we find those leads from? The key is Apollo. Okay, we actually find those leads from Apollo, which is a database of various types of businesses. Any type of businesses you can specify by industry, by employee number, by turnover, and all that stuff. So you can acquire a list of people that you want to reach out to on Apollo, and then we nurture various emails, not our main domain, and through other domains, and we send out cold emails that way. And all that is leading to us getting 1 positive response a day. And that has been fantastic for us because we are generating so many leads right now that we are kind of worried that we cannot fulfill all the jobs that are coming through to our business. So that's a good problem to have. That's how cold email outreach is actually working for us right now. Now, the other variation to standard cold email outreach is actually using warm email outreach or customized, personalized email outreach. Now, what do I mean by that? That means instead of sending just a standard offer to everybody or standard message to everybody, that's where you actually do a bit of research on each prospect that you want to reach out to. For example, I have my virtual assistant compile a list of people who are advertising their webinars on Facebook. And then I'm reaching out to them one-on-one. So I actually check out the ads, check out the funnel, check out the website, and then I say something that is very personal towards them. Like, for example, have you considered installing a pixel on your landing page because that will help you to track things better? Or I might say, looking at the ads, and I say, hey, have you considered using video ads because, video ads actually convert better than image ads? Or I might say, hey, look, I think you have a lot of ads, nice variations, etc. But have you considered actually creating different angles for your ad copy? Because right now Andromeda is penalizing people who just make slight tweaks or slight variations. So that's a variation to that cold email outreach, which I will call it personalized cold email. So those 2 ways are working pretty well. And to be honest, I haven't done a whole lot of the personalized cold email outreach because I just don't have time because I'm getting so many leads from my standard cold email outreach. I have done some personalized cold email outreach. And, for me right now, the time is not worth the squeeze. The positive thing about the personalized email outreach is that we know that these people, if they respond, are very qualified leads because they're advertising on Facebook. We know they're spending lots of money. We check them out. We send them a message, right? And so far, I've sent out about 70 personalized emails. It's not many. I've had several no's and I have had 1 meeting out of it, which might result in a client, which is quite a substantial client. So all in all, it's still pretty worth doing if you have the time. All right. So that's the first one. Now, the second one I'll talk about today is LinkedIn outreach. So LinkedIn, as you know, is a platform for B2B outreach, right? And it's a platform for also networking on a B2B level. With LinkedIn, the problem compared to cold email outreach is I find that you are very limited in terms of the number of messages you're able to send out per week. Otherwise, you get penalized. The number of connections you're able to make in a week is also very limited. So you need to give it a lot more time. And the other issue I find with LinkedIn is that people are getting spammed by so many messages. They are quite hostile when you actually kind of outreach them with an offer straight away. So what I've realized is that the first thing that you should do with LinkedIn is not to make your offer, not to pitch straight away. What I find most effective is to give a freebie or gift right away. Now, I have tried 2 offers in the front end that works really well. One is my interview with Dennis Yu on my podcast. I have given that as a freebie, and people respond relatively positively because, it's kind of like, hey, it's kind of a famous marketer that I've interviewed, and here is the value. I'm actually giving value first, right? With that. The second thing I have tried as well, or am trying right now, is by giving away a free lead magnet on AI-powered webinar funnel. So we have designed a whole funnel that's AI-powered for webinars, and I'm giving away that free report explaining how this AI-powered webinar funnel works. And I have gotten pretty good response so far. It's only week 1, and I have 2 positive responses from new connections. So I think I made probably 15 new connections, and 2 of them said yes. So that's pretty good in week 1. And then use that as an opportunity to start a conversation to lead into maybe your service or telling them how you work, right? So that is the tactic that I'm using right now that seems to be working. Now, the second part of it is to have events. What you can do with your LinkedIn connections, and this is where you might need to incorporate a webinar, where you have a webinar once a month or once every 2 months, and you send out an invite to your contacts saying that, hey, I'm hosting a webinar on how to use AI to do your marketing, for example. And that's working pretty well. If your topic is good enough, and interesting enough, you will attract the right type of people that will sign up for your webinar and your event. So it's a good way, kind of like a free way to advertise to your LinkedIn connections about events that you're having, right? Because LinkedIn wants to facilitate community. And if you have events, invite your connections to join that event. And of course, you can also couple it with inbox outreach to advertise your event, tell people that you're having that event. Although, just be careful because some people will think of it as spam, but that's part of the game, right? So those are 2 things that I find are working pretty well right now. And the third one that I will say that's working pretty well is, now you won't expect this, but is direct mail. And I'm talking not email, but actually physical posts, physical postal mail that is working pretty well for us in B2B. Now, one of the projects I'm working on is a dental aligner. So what we have been doing, instead of reaching out to dentists via email or via other channels or ads or whatever, is that we have put together a package, a mailing package that we send out to dentists that we have identified. And we send out this postal mailings once a month, and we are getting consistent leads from them. So on average right now, we are getting roughly about 5% of people responding positively to our direct mail packages. Now, what we do in this package is not your standard, hey, here's an envelope and a sales letter. We make it a bit more fancy, so that people actually are curious what's inside the package and they actually open it up. So here's the things we have inside that package. Number 1, we have our sales letter. Okay, that's a given because we want to basically tell people what the offer is, why our product is so awesome, why you should consider it, and this is our offer. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, I include a postcard in there. Now, the postcard is basically saying, here's a $5,000 gift. What you need to do is you need to scan this QR code. And if you qualify, we will give you one clear aligner case for free. And that is worth a few $1,000s, right? So you just need to scan that barcode on the postcard and apply for that particular free aligner case. Now, the third thing we have is a sample aligner, so that people can actually open it and see what the aligner looks like, look and feel like, okay? So that's pretty straightforward. And the fourth thing we have is a gimmick. Now, what do I mean by gimmick? In this case, we are sending out that message direct mail to dentists. So we actually have a keychain that is in the shape of a dental mirror. You know, those mirrors they kind of put in your mouth to look at your teeth. Yeah, it's a keychain shaped in that way so that when dentists open it, it's related to them and it gets their curiosity. And the headline is something along the lines that, yeah, look into this dental mirror because this is what's going to be helping you potentially add another X amount of dollars to your dental practice in this next 12 months, right? So that's the whole gimmick there. So I think you just need to be creative with direct mail because the standard mail pieces that people send out, just boring sales letters or even well-written sales letters without any gimmicks, that is not something that people respond to. So we're getting awesome results with direct mail. And I think one of the key things is that people are so focused on online, they forget about offline, and there's becomes less competition offline, which is great for us. Because as marketers, we don't care. As long as we get results, we don't care whether it's online, offline, or through space or through telepathic means, as long as we get the results, right? So that's the key. All right, so moving on. The fourth thing that is working, and I actually just came back from one today, which is trade shows. Now, think about it. Like, there's thousands of trade shows every single day or every month all around the world. Maybe in your city, there is a trade show for your niche, your target market. Why are you not going to those trade shows? I was basically representing one of my clients who is actually a Japanese company that helps companies, foreign companies, with their products to enter the Japanese market, right? So I went to this trade show and I've identified at least 4 or 5 different products there that could potentially have that opportunity to enter the Japanese market and could potentially be clients of my clients. The thing with trade shows is you don't have gatekeepers. And sometimes the decision makers are there, standing right there, talking to potential prospects. And it's kind of like it's an open door. They're actually willing to talk, right? So you just go straight in and say, hey, who's the boss here, right? And I represent this company and I would like to talk to your decision maker, your manager, right? About this and this. Okay. So then it's kind of like you're just, they're there, you're there, and sometimes they don't have anyone else to talk to, so it's a great opportunity to actually talk to them and even make a pitch, okay? So trade shows are a fantastic opportunity. Just the key is you need to follow up, and it's a bit of like legwork, of course. So you can't sit on the couch. You got to get out there, got to speak to people, press some flesh, and get to speak to those decision makers. Because in B2B, this is a great opportunity where it's like kind of like, to me, everybody's there is like shooting fish in a barrel. Okay, so it's an awesome opportunity. Okay, so the next one I will share with you today, the fifth one, which is generating a lot of quality leads for our business almost on a weekly basis, is SEO and by extension, Google search, right? Ads, and also by extension, LLM listings. Okay, so here's the thing, right? When people want to find, are usually looking for suppliers or providers or service providers. As you know, they will go on search engines. They will, nowadays, more and more of them, in fact, about 20, 30% of our leads that's find us come through LLMs. So like ChatGPT, for example, is given us a ton of clients this year because we just appear when you type in webinar marketing agency. So that's great. If you want to find out how to rank on this ChatGPT, basically ask ChatGPT. I won't give you a tutorial on that, right? But basically the key there is to create lots of valuable content. That's why I'm making this video right now on a Sunday night. You'd think I don't want to chill out or do something else, but I know that if I produce lots of good quality content, then the SEOs, the LLMs, YouTube search will give me the rankings. And hopefully you're watching this video now and you're thinking, maybe I should engage with Terence and Radical Marketing. Hey, And Google search ads, of course, still works because we're talking about reaching out to B2B. They're expensive, but if your customer lifetime value is great, then why not consider using Google search ads? Personally, we are not using paid Google search ads right now, but SEO and LLM listings are giving us lots of good, high quality leads. And yeah, it's definitely something that you should not overlook. And I know it doesn't give you results straight away, but if you're patient, keep generating content, keep writing those blog posts, eventually Google gods and the ChatGPT gods will hopefully give you some rewards from that. Okay. So that's the fifth thing. Now, the sixth tactic that I think is working still very well right now is webinars and paid ads. Right. So I'm not just saying this because, that is our business, because we promote webinars, but webinars and paid ads still work in 2025 and 2026. I'm sure it will still work. For us personally, we have been testing with webinars, online advertising to North American audience on Meta, and we are still getting good leads from that. Okay, so yeah, I think they still work. Of course, your webinar needs to be strong, have a good offer, etc., etc. And I mentioned a client of ours just now that is basically helping foreign companies enter the Japanese market. We are using webinars and paid ads as well, and they have a strong follow-up system. So even people who don't attend the webinar are actually having conversations with them on how to enter the Japanese market, right? And we are advertising them on Meta. A lot of people say, oh, Meta doesn't work for B2B. Rubbish. It still works. And the reason why it doesn't work for a lot of people is the webinar topic is all wrong. The webinar topic is not speaking to the ideal target audience, or the solution they promise in the webinar topic is not speaking to the target audience. That's why they're getting like low quality leads, tire kickers, wannabe-preneurs, and not the real businesses. For our Japanese clients, we are getting a lot of high quality businesses coming through Meta because their topic and the way we crafted the message on the landing page of the webinar speaks directly to the pains and to the desires of bigger businesses, not the small business owner, right? So that's how we are able to make paid ads and webinars work even for larger companies in B2B. So I will give you 2 bonus ideas as well that you might want to test out. Personally, we haven't tested it out yet, but I know for other people that I speak to in the marketing world, it is working for them. People who I know one-on-one, and they are practicing it. They're getting phenomenal results. But personally, I haven't had the bandwidth to test them out, but I thought it will be remiss of me not to share it with you today. So the first one is the bonus, First bonus for you, yay, is cold calling. Yeah, no, just talking about it gives me a shudder down my spine, right? Cold calling. I mean, who likes cold calling? You gotta be wired, a bit weirdly to love cold calling. But the fact is, like, I know agencies, I know service providers that offering high ticket items, they are crushing it using cold calling because everybody is so afraid to do it. So those people that actually do it are actually getting results. So test out cold calling, and once again, you may not find the working formula right up front. So you might need to test many approaches before you nail it, but cold calling still works in 2025 and 2026. Now, a variation of this, which is my second bonus for you, is, wait for it. Yep, you got it. It's door knocking. I know this is even more freaky for most people than cold calling, but if you are a service provider that is servicing local businesses and you go around door knocking, for example, if your target market is dentists, is healthcare providers, it is gyms, for example, door knocking is a fantastic way for you to speak to the decision maker, and they cannot lie, unlike cold calling. Like they say, oh, my manager's not here, kind of thing. They can't do that because like you're there in the gym and like, oh, I can see a manager there at the back. Do you think I could have a minute with him? Right? It's like either he's busy or he at least has to come out, has the basic courtesy to come out to say hello to you. I think door knocking, if you've got the guts, you've got the time to do it, that will pay tremendous rewards, because I know other people in this space are doing door knocking and they are getting phenomenal results. So if you are targeting the smaller retail businesses like and clinics, all that stuff in the medical space, door knocking will absolutely work for you. Go out there, give it a go, and maybe the results will surprise you.
And then you come back and thank me and maybe engage us with our radical marketing services for your business.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you gained a lot today about the various B2B lead generation tactics that are working in 2025, and I'm sure they will be working for many, many years to come. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do, make sure you hit subscribe and like. So make sure you also watch the many other episodes that we have here so that you can get more ideas and marketing strategies to grow your business.